Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, whatever time you're listening. This is the official Hammer Time podcast. As long ways we have starting over. I can't talk.
What is happening?
Don't know.
Okay.
A stroke. Holy crap.
Leave that
God.
in. Leave that in.
Oh my God. Anyways, you get the point. I think you know what you're listening to. At least I hope so. My name's Cade. This is Jake next to me, who is making fun of me after I can't pronounce whatever I'm talking about here. And this is the Hammer Time podcast, I think. and, this is going to be our first part of our Big 12 conference preview that started today, and then second part coming in later next week. And similar formats. Oh, yeah, sorry. Later on this week. And we have similar formats from our group of five, similar to Jake's ACC. Shouts to holding down the fort while we were out. But we
Absolutely
are back
no problem.
in full swing. At least I think so for now. But yeah, we're going to go over pretty much top three, bottom five, I think is what we agreed on. So at least somewhat. And of course, as always, if you guys enjoy listening to us ramble about conferences in the preseason, it is July 20th. College football doesn't start for another month. So if you enjoy hearing our voices this early, I should say, be sure to follow us, give us a download, leave us a review, like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is now. You guys know what to do there. And then, of course, follow us on our socials at hammertime_pod, which is linked in all of our socials on X and TikTok. Maybe Instagram. Actually, no, not Instagram anymore. Just X and TikTok. But yeah, that's about it. Anyways, short week today. We'll have this one. Today's Tuesday. So this will be up the following Wednesday, July 22nd, sorry. Yes. And then second part of this should be out. I'm going to hope and I'm going to shoot for Friday, maybe. Possibly. Yeah, I'm going to shoot for Friday because Thursday, Dad's birthday week. It's a weird week.
Congrats.
Am I allowed to say thanks for that? I don't know.
Can you say thanks to your dad?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I thought you were saying, never mind.
Oh, no, I'm saying congrats to him. Not you.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Anyways, top three Big 12 teams. Not too much to discuss. As I said, this is usually pretty much a walkthrough. This is one of those conferences where it used to be, I think it was 2 years when we talked about this, where it was like the last 4-3 winners was like odds were 10-1 preseason. And now it's like at the same. Was it what? That was it. That was the start of it. And yeah, now it's basically been the same top three that we've kind of seen, which is expected. Not that nothing was out of the blue or out of the ordinary for this year specifically. We've really only had the one major storyline out of this conference, and a team that we're going to get into shortly, and to see how much that affects them. But I mean, other than that, not really a whole lot top to bottom that we're looking at here. Kind of the same old. So without further ado, we will start with the number one overall in this conference, and that is the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. And let's see. So following the whole NIL signage deals and everything like that, they exploded after like 2024 or 2025. They got like probably some of the best transfer portal classes that we have ever seen. And the amount of money that they spent to get these guys, like Micah Hudson was in that class. There were so many other names in this class, but just one of the more notable names that was not expected to go there. He was kind of the lead trail, and he brought in tons and tons of talent from the recruiting wise and portal wise, which obviously he was a recruit, so it's a little bit of a different story there, but still same principle. Last year they were by far the most dominant Big 12 team, I think, on paper and physically. I mean, that's really didn't look like it was a very close matchup to anybody that they played against. That being said, once it goes down from like 2 through 5, I think there's a decent amount of there was a gap this year. That gap I think is shortened just a little bit. I think it's slightly shortened just a little bit more this year. So we might see a little bit more competitive conference. We might not. But the team itself, as much as you guys probably think that they lost much, it doesn't look like they did. They reloaded on defense a lot. They've got really one of the best transfer classes on the defensive line alone. You bring in Adam Trick out of Miami, who's a local, shout out. Trey White joins in. Austin Romaine, who is Kansas State's captain on the defense, he left. Ben Roberts
good.
Also returns as well. Austin Romaine's a stud, dude. I loved him.
He could honestly be better than Jacob Rodriguez was last year.
I remember talking about him specifically last year in our preview on when he was still with Kansas State and how much of an impact he was going to make for them, which maybe on paper didn't seem like a lot, but off the stuff that's not on film, probably more so. I really didn't pay attention to Kansas State last year, but nonetheless, phenomenal player, and he's gonna fit in really, really, really good with that unit. So anytime you're stealing another team's captain, also, that's massive. So
yeah.
Offensively, this is where we have some question marks kind of arising with Will Hammond. After the news with Sorsby kind of went out here that he is now out for the year and going to the supplemental draft, supposedly, maybe.
Well,
I don't know where that story is.
He'll be going to the 2027 NFL draft now.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't know where that story went after that, but let me see. It looks, I will add, Will Hammond is coming off an ACL tear. So
yes,
that's, to me, that's probably the biggest question mark on this offense. I think the timeline for him has been moved up, I think, in mid-August. So I think he will be ready by week 1. But they did bring in a couple of guys as well from the portal just to kind of give some depth for the first 2 out-of-conference games that should be relatively cake. Big thing for me, running backs. They get them back with Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams. I think Cameron Dickey was a 1,000-yarder last year, so he posted 1,000 plus, and Jacoby is just explosive. He was phenomenal. Quentin Joyer is back and is healthy, and he is what brings that entire room together. Honestly, I was so upset whenever he tore his ACL in the spring last year. That really hurt. But as far as receivers too, Coy Eakin, obviously Reggie Virgil, Caleb Douglas, they all, this is insane, I didn't know this, they're all in the top 16 in terms of wide receivers in the entire country, which I did not know.
Wise, I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they were top 16 receiving yardage, but only Eakin's back.
Oh.
Because Virgil and Douglas both got drafted.
I blame Bill Connolly. Okay. Who's that? But yeah, not like I said, offensively, there's really not a ton going on outside of the quarterback position. Everybody else has pretty much been added in, and then your running backs are still pretty much staying the same. So offensive line was obviously strong enough to win that conference, of course. I don't necessarily think they lost a ton there either, so they should be pretty much fine as far as returning production goes, I would assume.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, Ed said roster, I'm not really worried as much as everybody else is. I think Will Hammond will do just fine, but
yeah, I don't think, like, I agree with you. I think there's less of a gap than this year potentially than last year.
For sure.
I think Baron Morton was. I feel like Baron Morton and Will Hammond are going to be a lot alike in just the fact that they are game managers and that you're trying to just get your playmakers the ball in whatever space there is possible. You When we look at Texas Tech and what they were last year, they were dominant in the Big 12 outside of the loss to Arizona State. They went and destroyed Utah on the road with a backup quarterback. They beat the brakes off Utah or off BYU twice. And so I don't think the question this year for Texas Tech should be can we win the Big 12 or can we make the playoff? It should be what are we doing to win a playoff game?
Yeah.
Because when you score 0 points in a playoff game, you're going to get joked about and laughed at, especially with the amount of money that they spent last year on that team. And so when you look at what this team is going to be again, I'm confused because it looks the same. And obviously, they tried to go get Brendan Sorsby and make this offense an electric offense that it was not last year. And now he's gone. So my assumption for what Texas Tech is this year is pretty much the exact same as they were last year. They are an 11-1, 12-0 team that should win the Big 12, should do it pretty decently convincingly, and then it just depends on can you win a playoff game. Like are you getting a bye or are you getting to play a group of 5 team? Like it all depends on your seeding. I think that they're a top 10 team with or without Sorsby. I don't think the Sorsby difference to me isn't that big. I like Brendan Sorsby. He's not Sam Levitt or Damon
Yeah.
Williams or CJ Carr. He's not an elite college quarterback. He's a good college quarterback. So you can say all you want, and I think a lot of people are off of Texas Tech because of what they did for Sorsby or what they did to try and keep Sorsby and all those things. It won't matter this year. The schedule is a complete joke. They are.
Yeah.
Oh, and before I go to the schedule, for other people saying that they lost a ton, they are top 12 in returning production this year. 65%, 67% on offense, 64% on defense. Really, all they lost was their defensive line. It's not replaceable. Those guys were awesome, but you can continue to diversify your defense and work around what you have. And they still have plenty of dudes, plenty, where I don't think it matters that much. And then you look at the schedule. Abilene Christian to start. You go to Oregon State in week 2. And then you have Houston in week 3 at home. That's one of your biggest games. It's at home. Sam Houston at home. At Colorado, a bye. Arizona State at home. At Cincy. Arizona at home. West Virginia at home. At Oklahoma State. At Baylor. TCU at home. So your biggest road test is versus a first-year head coach and a first-year quarterback in the Big 12. You avoid Utah, you avoid BYU. Like, you only have to play one of them potentially in the Big 12 championship game. There's a real possibility they just go 12-0. And even if they don't, I don't see more than 2 losses here. They're a good team with or without Sorsby. They didn't lose that much, and they're going to be a really good defense. And
Again. Yeah.
the only thing they really have to work on this year is like the yards per carry and the offensive line being able to run block. Like that was the only problem they really had, was that when you looked at like the BYU game or really the BYU games where like they were not running the ball extremely well, and that's why when they got into the red zone it was such a problem. You have to be able to run the ball to score touchdowns. So if you play a good defense, that's what you're going to have to do. But I mean, there's not a ton of good defenses on the schedule anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I think the good news for them, obviously, is that, I mean, you kind of hit on it a little bit, but they weren't like incredibly lopsided at QB last year. Again, like you
No.
mentioned, Morton with Hammond, they're not two completely polar opposite quarterbacks.
And Hammond played last year.
Yeah, like he had snaps, he had reps, plenty. And it didn't even make a difference until the playoff came. Like, if we're being real, like that's pretty much what it came down to. I mean, then again, I wouldn't be worried. I don't understand the overreaction with everybody that cashed out the Tech natty or the Tech conference champ tickets and everything like that to take BYU or to take Utah instead. Like, they don't have a shot. They absolutely, very much so, have a shot. There's a reason that the odds did not change pretty much at all.
It was already baked in
They
the
went
second the
from
news came out.
they went from like even money to maybe like what, plus 105, 110, even that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the lowest I saw was plus 100.
Yeah, at the time. They're obviously the favorite. They have the talent, and of course the schedule is as light as it is. They it definitely helps when you don't play your next three in the conference line with obviously there. But even the non-conference, I was looking at this, their non-conference schedule doesn't even feature a top 90 team, like, period, in terms of FPI, that is. Like, obviously there's going to be challenges in store, whatever that is, if you're just not healthy, whatever that means. But it's like, again, 10 to 11, like, or 11 to 12. Like, I just don't see anything less. And if that is less, then I'll be shocked. Very
There's
shocked.
no, no.
Again, like, that's what I
It's
mean.
not.
It's not happening, but it's just, again, if it does, for whatever reason, for the sake of the podcast saying that we called it,
They're going 11-1.
we'll stuff my mouth. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Number 2, Kalani Sitake's BYU Cougars. I like this team better than last year, but not enough to necessarily take over. Maybe. Don't know.
It's 8.5, right?
Yeah, it's a stiff total. Biggest thing for me is the schedule. Like, there's really not much to talk about here as far as the team goes. They're 18th in SP plus. Yeah, 18th in SP plus. I think that they are one of the more inconsistent Big 12 teams, I think, since joining, and it's been very weird, but like, they've been on the side of being like a top 20 program for like, what is it, almost, it's been 5 years almost now. I mean, they've been pretty consistent on as far as that goes, but after playing Bareback Meyer and even getting like a guy like Dampier at Utah or Mestamaker at Oklahoma State, like, where does Bachmeyer sit, in this conference now after like all of those guys come in? You know what I mean? I think the best win from this entire returning production conversation is going to be LJ Martin. Easy. Loved watching him last year. I loved when he was healthy. He definitely made an impact whenever he was. My issue with this is the BYU offense. I'm curious about their pass catchers. I'm not sold, and it could be the best since like the Zach Wilson days. Honestly, it has the potential to be like there, but again, that's a huge, huge, huge question mark because your top 3 targets are out, and then you have Walker Lyons from USC comes in, JoJo Phillips, Kyler Casper, those really big names from other Power 4 schools. But again,
They have all the tight ends.
And that's just talking from potential.
6.
That's insane. I don't know what he has up his sleeve, but I don't like it. Defense. Let's look. Defensively, defensively, winning this is super funny. Whittingham goes in to Michigan and then takes Jay Hill, who is BYU's defensive coordinator, and so he left with him. As far as I know, that looks That looks like one of the bigger like losses on the defensive side is a part of the staff. If I'm looking at it here, I mean, there's really not a ton here. 10 of the 16 defenders with 200 plus snaps are coming back. Isaiah Glasker, Sayel Sarah, who are in the linebacking core, they are, as far as numbers go, they look like they are absolutely amongst the conference best, making all conference teams 1 and 2 last year. Evan Johnson, who is a looks like one of the best Big 12 corners. Actually, did not know that. I don't really have a ton of problems with the defense. Like I said, my question marks are on the offense, but the potential is there. But again, potential is not what I like to rely on because the schedule is is what kind of takes me for a turn. I'm not really a fan of it. I think that they actually you can go over the schedule first.
Yeah. So before I get to the schedule, I guess I'll just run through my thoughts on BYU. This, I agree with you. And last year we saw it offensively, like that was the problem. You look at the Texas Tech games, which were the only two games they lost in in the whole year. Like you,
Yep.
your two losses, your two losses were to a playoff team that shut everyone down, but they were just super inconsistent, which is something you kind of expected with a first year quarterback who is a freshman. And just kind of how BYU has been over the last like 5 or 6 years with Sataki. It's just not been a great to above average offense. It's just they get through, they get by, they run the ball, and that's not, I think that's going to continue. You're going to see a ton of LJ Martin this year, which hopefully stays healthy because I think he's one of the top, at worst, he's a top 5 running back in college football. Could have gone to the draft this year and chose to come back, which huge theme this year for BYU. Lots of guys that could have hit the transfer portal, could have gone to the draft, could have left with their defensive coordinator, all these things, and they all stayed. Everyone stayed. Not a, their defensive coordinator leaves in Whittingham got hired in what, March, February,
Yeah.
late.
Early. Yeah.
Not a single player left with their defensive coordinator to go to Michigan. That's unheard of. So roster retention is the best, one of the best in college football. And you pair that with a second year with Bear Bachmeier, you pair that with LJ Martin. They should look better offensively because defensively they may be even better than they were last year, and they were top 20. So this could be a defense that rivals Texas Tech in who has the best defense in the Big 12. And their schedule is definitely harder than Texas Tech's, which not a great gauge, but I think when you're looking at the schedule, they do avoid Texas Tech, which I think is big. And I think it comes down to, 3 or 4 games on this schedule. You have Notre Dame at home, which doesn't affect your Big 12 standings, but is still a huge game. Notre Dame will be a playoff team this year. Spoiler alert for anybody waiting for our Notre Dame preview.
Gasp. Yeah.
But Notre Dame at home on October 17th, at Utah on November 7th, and at TCU on October 3rd. Probably their 3 biggest games. And then you throw in Arizona in week 2 and like a trip to UCF in the middle of October. That's really it. You play Cincinnati, Baylor, Iowa State, all teams that should be at the bottom of the Big 12 this year. So it's not great, but I do like how spread out it is. It's not back to back to back to back or front loaded or back loaded. It's like one hard game every 3 weeks, and I think they should be in the Big 12 championship game this year. Again, I think it should be Texas Tech, BYU, because of everything that's returning for both teams. I don't there should not be a world where these two are not rematching in a Big 12 championship game.
I agree. A couple things that I do like about the schedule, real quick. Uh, September 12th, that Arizona or against Arizona. Sorry, I like that we're going to be able to find out what their defense looks like against a pretty prolific conference offense because Arizona, which we'll get into them, next episode, but I know Fafita's there. Like I said, they're very well known as one of the better offenses of that conference. So it's going to be a really decent test very early on to see what they look like.
Yeah, top 30 in scoring offense last year. So yes,
no offense, no offense to Utah Tech or anything.
They may put up 7.
No, but I think I'll throw you a surprise trap game that I think is going to have a little bit of effect more than a lot of people think, and a game that's probably getting overlooked. The stretch, like from Notre Dame to Arizona State
at UCF.
At UCF is going to be a weird hangover.
Yes.
No matter the outcome.
Yes.
I think no matter the outcome of that Notre Dame game. I think if you win against Notre Dame for one, that UCF game gets magically 20 times harder. if you lose the Notre Dame game, you're going into UCF really beat up, and I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong. UCF, I thought they were coming off of a bye, or they are coming
off a bye.
So I'd be careful. I think that obviously I still think that they're going to win. I just think it's a game that a lot of people are going to overlook that might not be on a lot of people's radars. Not that UCF is supposed to be anything good, but Bounce House isn't necessarily the most friendly environment in the world. So
it is not. Love the Bounce House. That's definitely a weird one. Especially with going Arizona State at Utah the next 2 weeks.
That's right. It's just a weird stretch. That's like, I don't know. Which again, like I said, I kind of understand their win total being at 8.5. Like it's looking at it, it looks low, but until you actually dive into why, it makes a lot of sense because they do have a lot of those, like, I don't want to call them 50-50 because UCF shouldn't be a 50-50 game, but like it realistically, I would say that it's like one of those like 75-20 or just like a sleepy giant kind of things. I don't know though. It's an interesting schedule.
We saw last year with BYU that they did struggle to take care of business at times. They didn't lose the games, but
right, they escaped.
You look at the Colorado game, the West Virginia game. For a minute there, they should have lost that game. I mean, they were down, I believe it was double digits or at least a touchdown to West Virginia. Yep. Come back and win by 14, so it doesn't look as bad. Arizona, they only win by 6. Then they win the Utah game. Iowa State win by 14. And then that's when they started more taking care of business. After the Texas Tech loss, blowout TCU, Cincinnati by double digits, blowout UCF. So it was like the loss woke them up. And like we talked about this, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Or I guess last year's, 2 years ago, BYU team, how lucky they were.
Yeah. Oh my God.
To not have a loss. It felt like for a minute there, they did it again. So if we're going to continue that, and their record in 1 loss games is very good over the last 2 years.
Yep.
There is, and I think that's why there's some thought there with odds makers of there's a possibility if they play down to teams, which they have a tendency to do, they're going to get tripped up. And if you get tripped up and then you lose Notre Dame at Utah and at TCU, there's your 8 wins.
It's not the worst take in the world for them to go under that. It's just hard for me to believe it, knowing what they've done in previous years. Like I said, this is why I love Satake, just because they just find a way, and it's one of the most impressive things in the country. It blows my mind every year.
And you'd usually see it from a team that's heavier on the transfer portal, which it just isn't right. BYU.
Exactly.
BYU is player retention on the roster already, so it's hard. You don't usually see the ups and downs unless it's a massive senior class that leaves, which is kind of what we saw in 2020 when they fell so hard.
Yeah.
And now they've built it back up. So I would. It's hard to see 8. I really think it's 9, 10. But there's a world.
As much as I want to buy in, I'm going to hold for right now on them for that
I
reason. So
Yeah, I would also. I don't like agreeing, but I would also hold.
we're going to talk about.
And we're buying Texas Tech, right?
I mean, you kind of have to.
Okay. Just making. I don't think we literally said it. So
I mean, like who else? Well,
I've got teams I can.
I'm kidding.
Buy.
I know. We're going to talk about their biggest rival, and that is a part of the Holy Roar, and we're going to Utah and Salt Lake, and that is actually, I was about to say Whittingham. Oh God.
No, not anymore.
You should have let me.
Morgan Scally.
Well, new era in Utah. Before I
New
dive
era?
in and say why,
Yeah.
slightly.
21 years.
You think, yeah, new era, maybe like new. I don't even know what to call that.
Well, sorry, 19 years of Whittingham, 2 years of Urban Meyer. So it's been 21 years.
We can. I don't know.
Also,
era feels wrong.
Did you know who their coach was before Urban Meyer?
Before Urban Meyer?
Yes.
Would that have been 2003? Something like that?
No. This is. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed the coach. Ron McBride as well with Urban Meyer and Whittingham. That's the 21 seasons.
I don't know that name.
The coach before Ron McBride was Jim Fassel, which is hilarious.
What in the world? That's so random.
Yes.
I would have never guessed that.
That's funny. Shout out Bill Connolly, because that's really funny and a good fun fact.
Never knew that. That's actually weird.
Anyways.
Well, the Utes find themselves at least on my board. I would like for them to be the third best team in this conference for this year. I will start by saying that I am not necessarily scared for them in a year one with this head coach. First of all, we can talk about Morgan Scally a little bit for those of you who don't know.
He's been the defensive coordinator at Utah for a minute.
Yeah, it's just like, I just find it funny because whenever you talk about like Utah, everybody and their mother immediately just thinks Whittingham, because like you don't really pay attention to the other part of the staff, like, which is kind of beyond me, because this gentleman right here that you are looking at is the reason that Utah had the best defenses in the conference before Tech came about. Like, it's literally one of the best staff members in the conference by far, in my opinion. And he's been phenomenal as long as I can remember. Now, last year was their first year, I think, where their defense wasn't like top 30 for the last 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think something like that.
SP plus.
Yes.
In general. Probably. It wasn't that good last year.
No, it was not. They were not. It was kind of like polar opposites.
They were 34th last year.
So that's even still not that bad, though. But
for Utah levels, that's pretty bad.
For Utah, yes, we can go there. It's just weird to see Utah putting up like 30 points a game, and then they're allowing like 28 or something like that. It was a little bit weird. Nonetheless, Jason Beck is one of the obvious huge key additions to last year, even though he was in the booth. Absolutely unlocked Dampier and was pretty much powering them through this conference offensively. Again, they had some really good defensive performance in the conference. I do think, like I said, I think that they will be fine. And here's the thing that I am worried about. Offensively, all 5 linemen are gone. Every single one of them, including their offensive line coach. So, we go as far as who we got now. So Utah State coordinator Kevin McGivern comes in, and now onto the defensive side. I guess we can go from there. That's a decent pickup or an okay segue. Sorry, I am all over the place today, guys. Here's the thing: 9 starters of the 11 of that defense are out. 4 of those are defensive linemen. You have a sack leader that's with that. You have 2 big time secondaries and their best, one of the best secondaries. It's a little wonky as far as production goes. So I'm going to tread lightly. But I think whenever you look at all of your 9, whatever, starting linemen, apparently, I think you have the pipeline from the portal of what they've brought into that isn't necessarily the worst in the world, because you're 24th in SP plus. They have a win total, I believe, is it 7.5 at a win total right now? If I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
Look that up. Yeah. It's just the other thing that I am worried about a little bit is when the defensive coordinator usually jumps up to a head coach. Historically, that is not necessarily something that fares well. That being said, they do return a good amount of linebacking core. Like I mentioned about the top defensive linemen, some of the top secondary, most of those guys are gone.
It's 8.5.
Oh, it's 8.5. Bummer. There's a lot of next man up here, like that I'm looking at, because a lot of these guys were kind of veterans, and either they graduated and went to the draft, or they pretty much transferred out elsewhere to get the last year of the eligibility out somewhere else. It's going to be a different year, but there's a lot of playmaking potential that I think could really flourish. And I know you're getting to the schedule, but I think it's friendly enough to not count them out immediately and to kind of give them a chance. I think that this is going to be a team that finishes top 25 in the poll by the end of the year, I would say. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a far fetch. I'm not going to say Big 12 contender or anything like that as of right now, but I'm not going to be surprised if the offense pretty much replicates at least a little bit of what they did last year. I don't think it's going to be as explosive, but I do think that they kind of do keep that foot with Beck on the gas, especially with Dampier. So, not to mention the receiver room is even more upgraded. So, like I said, I'm not really worried offensively. It's just defensively, when you lose your coordinator to an upgraded position, it's a little bit of a weird transition. So, that would be the one thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'll get into all that in a second. The schedule is not bad, truly. Your out of conference schedule is Idaho, Arkansas, Utah State, all 3 at home, the first 3 weeks of the season. Travel to Iowa State in week 4, on a bye week 5, Kansas at home week 6, at Colorado, Houston at home, at Cincy, BYU game at home, at Arizona, at TCU, West Virginia. 3-week stretch. BYU, at Arizona, at TCU is going to really be the barometer of how good of a year one Morgan Scalley has. It's I wouldn't even say very backloaded. It's backloaded mostly because they don't play anybody in the first 6 weeks of the season. Unless you want to count, I mean, we'll see them against Arkansas, which I guess we shouldn't count that as a win, but Arkansas on 6 days rest or something at night, whatever. Talking about Utah, it's been the same for the last 19 years. Kyle Whittingham, physical, offensive line, defensive line, run the football, you know, explosive runs, not a lot of passing. It's been like that for 18 years. Dampier shows up last year, and their offense is explosive. I would argue that was the best Utah team in Whittingham's tenure. and it didn't end up being a playoff team. It didn't end up winning a Big 12 or Big 12 title or a Pac-12 title. But I mean, they were a 3-point game away on the road in Provo to being in the Big 12 title. So they were there, and you understand that Morgan Scalley has been with Kyle Whittingham for 10 years. He has been the defensive coordinator for 10 years. Nothing is going to change.
Yeah.
This is going to be Utah. The offensive coordinator runs this. The new offensive coordinator runs the same scheme that Beck ran at Utah. So I don't think the offense changes. It was a top 10 rushing. It was a top 5 rushing offense. So can Dampier be more consistent passing the ball with a wide receiver core that, as you said, is upgraded? I think it's a possibility. And then defensively, he handed over play calling duties, which is a smart move. You can still have your say in what's going on schematically and things like that, but you do need to give it up to be a head coach. Josh Hype. But the rushing defense was horrifically bad last year. 110th in rushing yards per game, 115th in yards per carry, 128th in explosive rush. That is not good. Now, they got a lot of negative plays, so there was a lot of havoc. That needs to be fixed ASAP if they want to compete for a Big 12 title and a playoff appearance. I don't expect anything different, so why would I just can't change my expectation. I think Utah's going to be pretty good. I like the schedule. I think if they can fix the run defense and if Dampier can improve marginally as a passer, I think they're going to be in every game they play. And they avoid Texas Tech. So I'm pretty in on Utah. I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty in. If you had made me pick right now, Utah or BYU, I would lean Utah at the moment.
Really?
To make the Big 12 championship game, yes.
I could see. Yeah. I mean, honestly,
I mean, the Holy War's at home.
I was gonna say that's probably the only way that I would lean that way, or the only reason I would lean that way.
Yeah, and it's all going to come down to Utah's defense fixing the run defense. Because if they don't do that, BYU should run all over them, and this won't be
LJ Martin's, having a day. Yeah.
So, yeah, Bear and LJ are running read option all the way down the field. But they have to fix that because, I mean, the passing defense was great. Top 20 in the country. They were a good scoring defense still. It was just the run defense was so bad. I mean, they were 60th. They were 60th out of 68 of Power 4 teams in rushing defense.
Like, we kind of predicted that their defense would really fall off a lot last year, in which it wasn't like like you said, for Utah, yes, it was a bad fall off, but for like everybody else, like it still wasn't the worst in the world. It was just like so out of the ordinary.
Yeah, when your problem is that you're top 10, you're top 20 in every category, but
like you're spoiled.
But the rushing defense, and we're over here harping on that, like if you don't fix that, you're going 6-6. Like this team is very good. What they do is recruit lines of scrimmage. I just think last year was a bad year for the defense when it came to other teams running the football. But I mean, even that, and they once again they were 3 points away from making the Big 12 title.
Again.
And the defense really fell off more at the end of the year than anything else.
They absolutely did. Yeah.
It was that stretch of Cincy, Baylor, Kansas State, Kansas, and then the bowl game.
That's freaking weird, bro.
I mean, they destroyed Cincy, but I mean, the Kansas State game, they had to score 51 to win. When in the world have you seen Utah having to score 51 to win? Like, it was just weird. So, yeah, you have to fix that, assuming... I don't know. It depends on what you assume about the offense. Do you think the offense gets better because Dampier gets another year? Or
Right.
do you think the offense comes back down to earth because Dampier is in year 2 and there's something that can be solved there? But once again, it's the defenses that they're playing. It's not like they're super impressive. Like outside of BYU and Houston's defense, there's a lot of question marks.
There's really, yeah.
Colorado, Kansas, Iowa State, Cincy, Arizona, TCU, West Virginia. Like that, there's not a good defense there
No.
unless you're super hopeful about your team.
It wouldn't be the dumbest thing in the world to say that they're probably the number one offense in the conference.
Yeah, I don't know if there's. Do we think it's close?
Who else would it be?
I mean, you could see
Unless if Will
TCU.
Hammond actually comes out and actually does whatever. But even then, I think Tech is probably not even top 3, personally.
TCU's if the quarterback works, just because of the scheme. BYU's if they run the ball really well.
I'm not. I was going to say I'm not trusting Bachmeier. No.
No, I don't. I don't know. I mean,
I think they have to do a little bit more than just run the ball to be the best offense in the conference.
No, but I'm saying if they run the ball extremely well, then it would open up things.
Oh,
but yeah, I
yeah.
get what you're saying. No, I would say Utah is the best. I
It's
mean,
just they have an ace card, legit.
Statistically, they have the best quarterback in the conference.
Right.
So, yeah, normally if you have
If you do that,
a
then
very
yeah.
good QB, you usually have a pretty good offense. Kansas State's maybe.
I like their win. I like their win total. It's just that, that freaking Holy War, dude. I don't.
Yeah, and I worry like you lose the Holy War because now towards the end of the year.
That's what
And like
it's got so much bigger impact on the season.
Is BYU like a one-loss team that has only lost to Notre Dame? So now you're out of it a little. You're on the outside looking in again.
It's weird.
Which is yeah.
It's very weird. I saw someone the other day. It's gonna be even funnier if they listen to this on Twitter. Posted Utah win total over BYU Big 12 champ, like next to each other.
I mean, both things are very possible and are codependent are not dependent on each other.
In a way, no, but it's like I feel like that's a mid-season bet, like not necessarily something to make at the same time right now. I don't know. It's just really weird. That's like taking Tech Big 12 championship and BYU playoff or something.
It's not as bad as that because you're just taking a win total. But I get what you're saying, especially because they play each other.
Oh.
But yes,
yeah, it wouldn't make that. Yeah, if they didn't play each other, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But whatever. No. Our next team, we're gonna switch gears and go. Man, this fall off is crazy.
West Virginia's the 4th best team in the Big 12.
We're gonna go. Yeah. We're talking about Rich Rod Mountaineers here, and
are you still in love with this team? The bowl team gonna make some noise in the Big 12? Are we back?
Clickbait.
Oh, you're back again? No, you didn't clickbait. You just made me mad.
That was rage bait. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, they went 4-8, like I said.
Same difference.
Who saw that coming?
Well. I don't even know where to start with this team. Where do you start with a team like this?
Where do you start with a team that is... What are they in returning production? 66? They're not that bad.
I mean...
Do they have a quarterback this year?
Oh,
they're sticking with Scotty Fox?
Scotty, yeah.
Oh, and Michael Hawkins. Oh, yeah, because he's really good.
I just dropped my hat. I didn't know they got Hawkins. What in the world?
Yeah.
I completely missed that.
I don't like that. Oh, God, I'm going to like this team because they have Cam Cook.
That's what I was going to say. Like, why did he go here to rot? Like, that's what pisses me off.
Because they're going to run him 400 times. He's going to be a day 2 pick just because he's going to have 2,000 yards.
Actually, I changed my mind.
We're
Step
gonna
aside,
like
LJ Martin.
Cam Cook is really good.
Oh my god.
Do they play this year? Oh, they don't play this year. That's really disappointing.
Before they have one. Hold on. All right, this is stupid. I just looked at the schedule and got so pissed off. Okay. Before we go, offensively, pretty much already went in briefly, like you said. Is it a confirmed projected starter or is it like a QB battle that's like ongoing?
I'll look and see if they've announced anything, but
Because I genuinely don't even know who would take that. To be honest with you,
does it matter?
I don't probably not. I don't know.
No answer yet from Rich Rod.
Bold. He's keeping it hidden till week 1.
Yeah, hiding it for Coastal Carolina on September 5th. Big game.
This team lost a ton. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Top four running backs, top 3 receivers. They're all out.
Yes.
It's who do we got?
Year 0 again. They're doing it again.
Apparently, who do we have here on this team? As far as I'm
Jaden Bray's
concerned,
back after he got hurt.
I was going to say that's why I forgot about him. That's why I didn't. I remember that. He went out early.
They got DJ Epps from Troy.
I see now. Okay. Yeah. Offensive line. Let's see. Oh God, they're bottom 15 nationally on pass protection and run block, and allowing a sack on 9% of pass attempts, and only 2 of those starters returned.
Did you see who he retired or who he hired though? His offensive line coach from Jack State.
53rd season.
Yes. But they ranked in the top 5 nationally in rushing all 3 of his years.
So for West Virginia fans, are winning the Big 12 this year, basically, is what I'm hearing.
No. They're just going to run the ball a lot. They're just going to run the ball a
lot. Dude, these guys brought in Cam Cook and said, we cannot let this guy... we cannot let him do it.
Rich Rod coached him, so it makes sense.
Oh, it does. I forgot about that. Oh my God. Yeah, you're right.
Him.
Yes, you're right. Very early, but yeah.
I'll check that.
Let's see. Everybody else, as far as this goes, Devin Voss, who was at Kansas State, Amari Grayson from Jack State again, who's first team All Conference USA. Top 100 recruit Kevin Brown. I don't know. Why do I not know that name? I feel like I know that name. Big offensive line blue chip, though, apparently. Let's see. As far as depth goes, I mean, they kept a good amount of people. Or as far as experienced backups, they kept a lot of people on that side. It's just a lot of new faces that might be in the starting positions. So a lot of position battles, it looks like.
Rich Rod didn't coach him.
Here we go. Oh, he did not?
No. He was at LIU in 2024.
LIU?
Or no, so he was at TCU. What? Sorry, he was at TCU.
Oh.
He was at TCU for 2 years, transferred to Jack State. Now he's back in the Big 12 with West Virginia.
So this is the side of the ball that I was more worried about than the offensive side anyways. Because defensively, you're coming off of a season where you let up 31 points per game, which ranked 114th in the country. Pass defense, that was in the bottom 10 of pretty much every single stat category that there is. 3rd worst of 68. Okay, Power 4, sorry. 3rd worst in the Power 4 from adjusted passing. So this is going to be fun. They lost top 6 defenders inside the trenches in there. We have KJ Henson coming from JUCO. We have Zeke Campbell coming from Coastal. Harper Holloman coming from Western Kentucky. There's a lot of G5 guys in here, which is fine. It's just going to be a really weird cycle. But everything that I'm seeing numbers wise, it looks like it's going to be upgraded. I don't know how you can downgrade it from last year, anyways, which is just kind of ridiculous to say as far as that goes. But secondary looks like they kind of reloaded. Corners, safeties, nickel. They got this is like year 2 of Rich Rod coming back again. Like, it's not necessarily expecting much. Like, I don't really know what people expect, to be honest with you. I think you can definitely say upgrade on the offensive side, strictly because of your added offensive line coach with Cam Cook. It's just going to be quarterback play is the massive question mark that everybody wants to know. But do we even need a quarterback? Like, just run like direct wildcat the entire time. Like, honestly, like, why are you not? I don't know. Like, does the biggest question that I have for this team is like how far did they move up in the conference from last year? Like 2 spots, maybe. Because I'm
I
trying to
think
look at the last year's standings because I couldn't see it, but
they were 14th. They won 2 games.
2, yeah.
I don't. The schedule isn't like horrifically bad. I mean, I'm
They
not
have
talking
4
about.
road games, bro.
I know, but have you
3
seen
with
who
the
3 of the
neutral.
have you seen who 3 of the 4 are?
Oh, I'm aware. I mean, I'm not saying that they're wins, but
No, I mean at Utah, at Texas Tech, at TCU. We're going to count those 3 as losses. You get Houston
what?
at home. That's probably a loss. So I mean, you play Kansas. Can you get that as a toss up? Cincy at home, toss up. Arizona at home is probably a loss, but I mean, you could take advantage of that defense. And then at Iowa State and Oklahoma State, like they're at least. I don't think they'll be. I don't think they'll be as bad as they were last year. There's
No.
improvement here.
Yeah.
Like Cam Cook is a very good running back. I would say if Scotty Fox wins the job, there's an improvement at quarterback as well. So I could see this being like a 5. Like I think this is 5-7, maybe 6-6. They're probably better
Bowl
than the
game?
rec. They could get there this year.
We're
I
so
could.
back.
I think I could give them that maybe, but they got to win a game they're not supposed to, and so we'll see. I will enjoy watching Cam Cook run for 300 yards every game.
It should be a fun one.
Yes.
I completely forgot that he went here, to be honest with you. I was honestly kind of trying to find that in the G5 preview that we did, or that we wrote, I should say. But I couldn't find it. But I guess now we know. It's okay. We move even further down on the ladder. I'm just kidding. Probably not that far down. Going into Boulder with Colorado. And Dion is in his 4th year officially. Here's the thing. Like, hot topic of the week probably for me. I'm not going to lie to you. I hated this team last year. Probably like with the worst team in the conference. They were bad. But this year, their transfer class is really good. Not going to lie. 65th in SP+. Here's the weird thing is that, like, a lot of the rumors have started about Dion and the departure coming this year, supposedly. I don't really know how true that is. I don't really think it's going to happen personally. I can't see why. They got a buttload of problems though. They were 3-9 as far as last year goes. I mean, we had how many QB changes from Salter to it was just
Stop.
Bad. Yeah, I don't know.
Julian Lewis.
So here we are now, but the offense has pretty much got a complete rebuild, and I like it a lot. I really do. Brendan Marion gets brought in to be the new coordinator, which is huge. Okay. And probably my favorite part of this is that you add Dan. I think is it Scudero? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Sure.
Scudero. I don't know. Really, really good group of 5 wide receiver. If you guys don't know him, he was from San Jose State. He was a small guy, number 10. He was in the slot a lot. You got Cam Perry from Miami, DeAndre Moore from Texas, which was also big. And then you also get in offensive line additions. Look at you go, Dion. How about that? How about that? So
they did lose their best offensive line, though.
They did, but I just like the fact that they're bringing in power conference starters and not just some other whatever.
It's fair.
It's big. I like it. Biggest question, obviously, is going to be Julian Lewis and how he gels with these wide receivers and how good they are going to be. And the biggest question of them all, if he can see them. That was a short joke. I'm sorry. I'm I don't know. This defense is where I'm coming to a halt and why I think they're going to be bad again. They did get some good guys, and then they lost some really good guys as well. So I think last year, obviously the floor of this team is very, very low still. Like 3 wins is probably still the floor where I'm at. But if Julian does what he does and maybe kind of adapts a little bit better, I think you're talking about a ceiling of bowl eligibility, probably. Maybe jumping up to 6 wins, hopefully. Again, that would probably for me be the max. I think there's a little bit more production that is relative more so to that 2024 team that they had. But again, I think they have to come together. And that's one of the biggest issues that this team has had. I think as far as not projection goes, what's the word I'm looking for? I think as far as production goes, I'm really not all that I guess I want to say I'm not that worried because I don't really expect a crazy big jump. Like I still think they're going to be bottom of the barrel. But it starts with Marion. Marion's a really good coordinator pick. And I mean, have a 25 transfer class coming in. Again, it's just a bowl season question that I have. It's a matter of fixing both sides of the line of scrimmage again, and then getting a better defense again. It's the same issues. It's just like, which time is it going to work?
Yeah, live and die by the transfer portal. But bowl eligibility might be slightly tough when you play Texas Tech, Utah, at Oklahoma State, Kansas State, at Arizona State, Houston in a 6-week stretch. Sorry, 7-week stretch. They
just a little bit.
They get to play UCF, Baylor, and Cincinnati. So you get to play some bottom of the barrel Big 12 teams, but I think this is another one of those teams where there's improvement. You watch the team and there's improvement, and it should show up this year in the win total. Maybe you get to 5. I just am very hesitant on a 6-win Colorado team this year with everything that's new.
Right.
And
that's
with
hard.
A quarterback that hasn't even started a full season yet. And they play difficult teams that are good, especially, which, I mean, you don't play them till October, but still, at Georgia Tech, at Northwestern, we don't know necessarily what Georgia Tech's going to be this year or Northwestern, but those are both on the road. It's like, if you tell me they're 4-8 again, I'm not going to be shocked, even if they get better as the season goes along.
Northwestern season doesn't start until they play in Ryan Field. Just FYI. Colorado could also get Dave Aranda fired. Maybe.
In week 4, yeah. A home loss to Colorado could do it.
Would be pretty funny. I don't really know if we're talking about them or not. I know you don't have any. I forgot to go over win totals because I did actually have one that I forgot to mention at the start. Unless if we can probably just save those for the futures episode, which I probably will, since we're already past and there's no point in going back. So stay tuned. I guess that was for nothing.
Great job.
Who do we have next? Iowa State.
This is gonna be sad.
Well. This is. Yeah. Now I have to scroll. Good night.
Yeah, we
I
can
have to
hear it.
scroll a lot. Oh my god.
They're last.
Right, I know. Still scrolling, by the way.
Good lord. What is
still-
your mouse speed on? 0.1?
It's pretty bad. All right. So this team, man, this is rough.
Yes.
Okay. And a team that we thought was going to be, I'll just say, not as good as we expected last year. They were 11-3, and you lose everything. Not easy. Absolutely not easy. But now the goal, I think, has changed just a tad. With Jimmy Rogers in his first year. And you're getting rid of Matt Campbell, who was there for 10 years. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Clean
kicked him to the curb. So we don't want this winning stuff
crying in his
anymore.
press conference. Yeah. I will start by saying this team is just going to be doing all means or what it does or whatever it takes just to get to 6-6. I think this team is a team that has lost a ton. You have 55 transfers that left. Half of them are now on Penn State's roster. You have no offensive return whatsoever that had 87 yards or more from scrimmage, or passing yards for that matter, or took more than 50 snaps on the offensive line. Defensively, 23 players saw at least 100 snaps, and only 5 of them returned. So this is going to be really, really, really weird. You have one of the biggest clean house rosters in the country by far, and you have Jimmy Rogers at the helm that is supposed to take charge of all of this. So for those of you who don't know Jimmy Rogers, South Dakota State, he was, I would say he's pretty good. He was 27-3 in his 2 years, which is obviously a great record, phenomenal record, if that. And he was at Washington State. I did not know that he was at Washington State. I think your biggest transfers in here are basically coming from Washington State, which are 6 offensive linemen, 6 linemen in general. The others are going to be a group of 6 transfers, mainly in the secondary, and some of them on the defensive line as well. So the part that's a little bit weird here, all of it's weird. There's just really no easy way to go about it. You have Campbell, who took a lot of the people with him to Penn State. You have, like I said, biggest clean house starting lineup in the country. I think they pretty much lost probably the most or second most. I think they're definitely up there. And then you have 2 coordinators who are coming in as well. So it's not going to be easy. It's completely the pure definition of a rebuild season, and it just matters how good of a rebuild this is.
Yeah, we're going to find out what Jimmy Rogers is good at, because we have no idea what this team is going to be good at. I do like Jalen Raynor from Arkansas State. He's a pretty good quarterback who has been all Sun Belt before it, with Butch Jones. That's about it when I look at what I like here. It's just we don't have sample sizes on really Jimmy Rogers, so a ton and we don't have sample sizes on any of their players playing at, you know, a Power 4 school for the most part, it's going to be a total guess. If you're betting Iowa State, you don't know why
Yeah,
you are. The only reason I would say that this may not be like a complete bottom falling out 2-10 kind of team or anything like that, schedule is not terrible. You get uh, you get some of the bottom teams in the Big 12 with West Virginia at home, at Baylor, Cincinnati at home, at UCF. So you're getting four not top level teams, but you still play BYU, Arizona, Utah, Kansas State, and Iowa. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'd say like 4, 5. I wouldn't I couldn't I should say that. I don't imagine this being a bowl team. I just think there's too much gone.
I agree. Unfortunately, um, next on our group of bottom feeders, we have UCF. That's so rude.
Fighting Scott Frosts.
60th in SPS and SP plus. This team has went from being one of the better group of fives at the time from the 2016 era to now being in the Big 12 and struggling to make bowl game. With the same coach, I should say. Different times, but yeah. Yeah, last year was pretty rough. They were pretty bad in terms of SP plus production goes. Newcomers, though, is what stuck out to me a lot on this team because nothing really obviously was in hand last year. You have a good amount of guys that are coming in that are really exciting with Alonzo Barnett, who is coming from JMU. And I think that this is probably the most experienced Big 12 quarterback now, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of just like years. I mean, looking at his numbers, I mean, the dude's got over 5,000 passing yards and a little bit over 1,200, 1,300 rushing yards. I'm sorry.
Yeah, him and
Um,
Rayner
yeah.
and Dampier.
Dampier probably. Yeah, I would probably put Dampier above him. Never mind. Nonetheless, good starter with a good amount of experience here. And you have Duke Watson coming from Louisville, who was hurt last year, but again, if he can stay healthy, could be really fun. I think that is the 1-2 punch of this offense, though, because receivers wise, there's really not a whole lot there, but it's very clear what kind of offense they're trying to kind of run. Barnett is not the biggest all-time thrower. He's really like that read option QB blast kind of guy. Like whatever, if you're going to do like some QB draw schemes, there's a reason that JMU ran that 2 quarterback scheme at the beginning of the year last year with him and Sluka. So there was definitely some plan that went into that. But Jonathan Bibbs is coming in, who is a receiving back more than it is just a downhill guy. And then you also have Josh Derry, who is coming from looks like Division Two, who's going to be joining the receiving corps. So yeah,
Monmouth.
very clear who this team is trying to be. I don't really see a ton defensively. Let me see. Alex Grinch obviously is bringing in a complete secondary overhaul. Lots of corners, good amount of linebackers that can do some damage. Lewis Carter returns. The linebacker is the best guy out of here. Not really anything valuable to really go. But I would say, or I would argue that I think improvement is going to be here. What are we looking at win-wise? I'd probably say another 6-win team. Bowl eligible is probably a for sure thing if I had to guess, honestly. Can you get to 7? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hated Alex Grinch before he got to UCF, and maybe Lincoln Riley was the problem because UCF had a top, I mean, like 60 defense. That's way better than UCF has been lately. So he at least improved something. There's some things going their way. 61st in returning or 61% in returning production, 29th in the country. I like Alonzo Barnett. I thought he played well at James Madison, so we'll see what a step up in competition looks like. They definitely want to run the ball. There's not a ton of weapons around him, and their offensive line figures to not be very good. But I do like Dylan Wade, who was an honorable mention at tight end for the Big 12. So improvement for sure. They get Kansas, Colorado, and Iowa State, who look to be three of the bottom teams in the Big 12. So that's a plus. But at Pitt, TCU, at Houston, at Oklahoma State, a bye, then the BYU game, which we talked about, Baylor, at Kansas, Arizona State, and then you finish with Iowa State at Colorado. I don't love the schedule, especially if you're 2-4 going into your bye week. Like, how are we feeling 2-4 going in the bye week, and then you got BYU on deck? Like, I don't love the front load of the schedule. Back does look pretty easy though, so maybe if Scott Frost can rally the troops, I think 6 wins is.
Yeah.
I would go. I'd say 6 is my max.
Yeah.
I think you can get 6.
I think like I said, bowl season is for sure. It's, again, one of those things where if they can actually win one of those games that they're not necessarily supposed to, like that BYU game, for example, maybe they do actually touch 7. I don't know. But again, this is one of those classic year 2 kind of deals that we've been talking about, where it usually calls for a good improvement.
Yes.
But yeah, this team is just going to be the definition of mid, if I had to say it, which again is better than last year, but still,
it's better than the past couple of years.
For sure. Like, they're not going to be worse than the West Virginia, than the Colorado, Iowa State, whatever. But I think middle of the pack between like Oklahoma State, Arizona State, I think is probably where we kind of find themselves at, which again, still improvement. Like I said, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world.
Correct.
Move on a little bit further down, and we're going to finish off this episode with Baylor.
My Baylor Bears.
A coach that is finding himself on the hot seat. Unfortunate.
You hate him. Don't say unfortunate.
Yeah, I hate him. I said it last year. I was also... Never mind. We're not going to do that. Dave Aranda. 51st in SP Plus. We have really, really just wasted. Really, really, really talented, really great offense. Yet again. Sawyer Robinson, top 3 backs. You lost every single football game imaginable in which you did not score 30-plus points. Tragic. Bummer. Rats. Now, you pretty much have to just flip a coin and pretty much go, which defensive coordinator is going to win me football games now? Because you truly have no idea. Again. The defense has been abysmal. Like, really, really bad. And then, like I said before, he is literally on the hottest seat in the conference, probably in the country, I would argue. I think the offense here is getting a decent makeover. Obviously, you get in Lagway.
Our guy.
You get, I mean, even better reason to buy into this team. Why wouldn't you? Look at this.
I'm back in. I forgot Lagway was there.
16 players who saw 200 snaps on the offensive side, and you have only your backup running back, a tight end, and a tackle coming back.
All we need.
Oof. Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. Good thing about Lagway is at least he just kind of looks the part. At least you have the blue chip title for you. That's okay. I mean, there's really not a whole...
now after all we hyped him up to be last year.
There's really not a whole lot. Now. There's really not a whole lot to discuss on the offensive side. A couple added receivers here and there, and it's just like, dude, they lost 4 starters on the offensive line, and that's just like an even more reason for me to just take my ball and leave. It's just not. I don't know. I just don't like it. The depth is questionable. Starting 11 should probably be very comparable to last year, to be honest. Maybe a little bit higher ceiling, one would argue. Maybe.
Than last
Defense
year?
is going to be bad. I don't really
The
even.
ceiling last year should have been 9 wins.
I still don't think so. They were supposed to 7 to 8. No.
They were in the Auburn game. They lost to Arizona State by 3. They lost to TCU by 6. Lost to Houston by 7.
They're bad.
That's 4 wins.
They're a bad football team.
I'm not saying that they weren't bad. They were bad. I'm just saying that the ceiling, I think, was 9. We didn't get there.
Clearly. I can be wrong about West Virginia, and you can be way off about Baylor. It's fine.
I wasn't wrong. Dave Aranda just sucks.
Okay. And Rich Rod just didn't have his play sheet in his hand. I don't know.
It's the coach's fault. It's not mine. I look at the roster, and it's a good roster. It's not what I do with it. It's what he did. He sucked. Sawyer Robertson should have been a top 4 round drafted QB. Sawyer Robertson should have been drafted before Taylor Green, but no, he's undrafted free agent. Why? Dave Aranda might need a new job.
He does. We can say it. It's fine.
I mean, when your calling card is defense and your defense is atrocious and it makes an offense that's good have to win you games, that's a problem. You should be able to fix your own defense. And you can't sit here and complain going into year, 6, that we don't have the guys for it. Like, it's on you and your play calling or the guys that you have delegated play calling to. We've hired a new guy, Joe Clanderman. He came from somewhere. Where'd he come from? Do we know?
Clanderman?
Oh, he was Kansas State. He was Kansas State's DC.
Yeah.
Perfect. Were they good at defense last year? No. So we'll see how it goes. I like Lagway. Maybe not playing in the SEC helps Lagway. Maybe he does see some potential, some of that potential fulfilled with not having to play elite defenses every week. But yeah, there's a ton new.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a bowl team, but there are 8 games that are projected within 1 score, and they're only favored in 2 of them. So you're either going to have a really good 1-score record, which Dave Aranda has not been very good at, or you have to really overachieve. You get the Auburn game again, which how many points is Golish going to score against Dave Aranda? I mean, Jackson Arnold put up 38 without throwing the ball. Now that they can complete a forward pass, he might put up 70.
Auburn team total might be the freest bet of all time. Hold on. We just found, oh my God. First week 1 bet.
I already have a week 0 bet, but Prairie View, A&M, La Tech, so there's 2. We got 2 wins. Colorado at home, we got to win that one. That would be 3.
Dude's going to be fired before October, dude. Or November.
At Arizona State is probably a loss. And then you get your bye week, and then it's TCU, at Kansas, at UCF, Iowa State. If Aranda's fired before the bye week in October, they should win those 3 games just based off of firing your coach. At Kansas, at UCF, Iowa State. And then you finish
good
with
old
a
dead
great
cat bounce action.
Yeah. Oh, dead cat bounces until you go at BYU, Texas Tech, at Houston. Then the dead cat is dead. Yeah, Aranda's 500 since he's been at Baylor, and they've somehow won the Big 12 in that span.
Isn't that insane?
So pretty much they have had 1 good year, maybe 2 good years, and everything else has just been bad.
Like really bad. Like laughably bad.
I want to be in on this team again because I like Baylor, but
I don't.
I do. I just don't like their coach. It's terrible.
I know.
Yeah, Dave Aranda's probably gone, but maybe DJ Lagway. Hey,
Maybe.
that's a former 5-star. I mean, you've seen him throw the ball to the other team. It looks great.
Yeah,
it looks great. So maybe we could stop doing that. I think they're a bowl team. 6 wins is. If they get to 6, he should be fired still. I think he should be fired at
October 17th is when he's gone. I'll mark my boot.
No, they're winning that game.
No.
Run it back. I'm doing it again.
We're going to go head to head on Baylor. No. I'll do that all year. Gladly.
No. I'm good.
If Auburn gets to 6.5, I'm already going to be taking that. So probably not going to happen, but it would be really fun.
All right. What is it at? 8.5?
7. 7.5.
No thanks.
Yeah. That'll do it for part 1. We will try to circle back here later on this week to give you guys part 2 to go over the middle of the pack, which is personally my favorite part of this conference because it should be pretty fun.
Texas favored by 7. What? Sorry, I'm looking at lines.
I heard that. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's. Might have to play Colorado on principle.
Nonetheless.
Anyways, sorry.
Part 2 will be out later on this week. Again, be sure you guys have notifications on for that. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, leave a review, whatever you got to do there. And other than that, we'll see you then. Any send-off thoughts for the crew?
I'm excited to talk about the next part because there's some teams in there I think that are going to be pretty fun. But
for both of us,
yes, and we'll see this year if the Big 12 is just the 3 teams or if we get a 4th this year. I'm hoping we get a 4th.
Yeah, I know there's really not like a whole bunch of questions to ask, which I know we usually have done for the conferences, but there wasn't really a whole lot for this specific group.
Can someone beat Texas State? That's pretty much it. That's all you
the
can
questions
ask.
And the more whatever layout format that we've been used to will definitely be used next episode for sure. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Go play BYU, win total over 8.5, and we'll see you guys in part 2. Thanks. Peace.
That was your